Well, good morning, Catherine, or I guess we're afternoon now. Catherine and Patricia, can I use your help for a sound check quickly?
Yes.
All right, we're going to have Jeannie do a sound check for us here. And, all right. Let's see, Jeannie, do you want to talk and be sure that they can hear you?
Hello. I'm Eugenie Rank. People know me as Jeannie, Magic with Chocolate.
Are you guys able to hear, or is it too quiet?
It's not as clear as your voice. We can hear her, but like she's far away.
Okay. All righty. Well, we will work on some solutions and get right back with you.
Okay.
All right, everybody, we're going to give our friends just a few more minutes to join, and then we'll get started. But thank you all for being here.
Thank you for doing it.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Megan Kosmarski, and I am part of the service club with the Virginia Tech Women's Club, but I'm excited today to be sharing Jeannie with you, the chocolate lady. So she is with Chocolate Spike. She's going to introduce herself, but I wanted to welcome you all. Thank you for being here. We will have this recorded and posted to the website as well. So if you have friends who weren't able to make it, they'll be able to watch it at a later time. But she's going to share a little bit more about what we're making today. And this will be just in time for Valentine's Day, so everybody can make their purchases for either truffles, chocolate-covered strawberries. She'll tell you a load more about what she can make for you for your loved one. But we'll go ahead and get started. All right, Jeannie, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay. I introduce myself sometimes as Jeannie, Magic with Chocolate, so people remember my name. I've been with the Chocolate Spike. It's now going on 18 years since I opened up my first shop. Before that, I was at the Farmers Market in downtown Blacksburg. So I moved here to the Heathwood Market last March. I downsized. So I'm just taking it a little bit easy. And my husband's semi-retired, so I'm just cutting down, but I still love to make chocolate. So I will show you today how to do chocolate truffles. That's one of the most popular things I make. And around Valentine's Day, the chocolate dipped strawberries are very popular. And I also make a cherry delight, which is a cherry wrapped in fudge and dipped in chocolate. And there's all sorts of barks and other chocolates I make. I can do toffee and brittle and stuff. You can check out my website at chocolatespike.com. So we'll get started on the truffles. I have, can you see the picture? I have the recipe here, so maybe you can figure out how to get the recipe to you.
Excellent. We can get that emailed out to the group.
Okay. And then I have another book that I like, The Art of Chocolate. I belong to the retailers, International Confectionery, and she was there, and some of the schools I've gone to and classes I've gone to, she was known as the chocolate goddess. And this is her book, and this is good if you just want a recipe, but if you want to know more about chocolate, this is a good book to get. It tells you some details. You know, what to do if you use a different type of chocolate, or the temperatures and stuff, which is important. And humidity is very important. So first of all, I'm going to take 16 ounces. You can use bittersweet, dark chocolate milk, or white chocolate. And I am not working with white chocolate anymore. I'm working with the ruby chocolate. This is it has the natural color. There's no artificial flavors or colors in it. and it has a tart flavor. It's 33%, and it is like it has a berry flavor too. So this is what I'm working with now instead of white. Okay, so you need 16 ounces of chocolate, and what you want to do is you want to have it coarsely chopped. I like to use this. You can use a knife if you want to. So you just make it into small pieces here.
You make sure you don't poke your finger.
Yeah. Well, this is better than a knife for me to use. And I'll break that up into a little bit smaller pieces. But you need 16 ounces of heavy cream, or 1 cup. I mean 8 ounces, sorry.
16 ounces of chocolate, 8 ounces of heavy cream.
Yes. And the directions say to put it on the stove and bring it barely to a boil. But I'm using the microwave. And for the microwave, you should use plastic, not glass, because glass bowls can heat up to make the chocolate burn. So it's better to do this, and I'll heat it at 30-second intervals until it reaches about 100 degrees.
So while she's heating that up in the microwave, I'll show you all where we are. Again, that's 30-second intervals in the microwave. So we're here at the beautiful Heathwood Market. So this is where Jeannie has her chocolate shop set up. You can get your chocolates, and then you can come back over and get some dinner over at Heathwood Market. So give you a little tour. So when you walk through the front doors of Heathwood, you can see Jeannie's chocolate shop right back there in the back. And so that's where she's got the microwave going. So is anybody planning on making some truffles either later today or before the holiday, or what has encouraged everyone to join us today?
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
I make chocolate a lot at home, and I was just really curious about how she was making it, because I made it up. I use dark chocolate, and I use coconut oil and honey, and then I put like all sorts of nuggets and stuff like seeds and different things in it, and then let it harden. So I was just curious how to make it the right way.
Well, hey, as long as it tastes good, right? But Jeannie will show us the professional way to do it.
I know. So Jeannie, speaking of honey, this is my 4th year as a beekeeper. Oh. So I sell my honey. I started last year selling it with the honeycomb. I had the honeycomb, and then I had the plain honey.
Yum. Wow.
So, yeah, I use this in my products.
So you incorporate honey in some of your chocolate?
I do make a vanilla honey caramel and a caramel truffle.
Okay. So how long did you end up microwaving
It was about 1.5 minutes.
Okay.
So it will depend on your microwave. I had the infrared thermometer so I could check the temperature of the cream.
Okay.
And I might need to heat this up again once the chocolate is put my gloves on.
Well, you'll be eating these. So if you don't have an infrared thermometer, how do you
have
recommend
a thermometer at all?
Okay, just use any thermometer you've got.
Yeah.
So the temperature is important.
Yeah, they said not to bring it to a boil. And it might, just take a minute here to let it sit. And then I'll probably zap it in the microwave for another 30 seconds. And the smaller you have the chocolate, the faster it melts.
Virginia, I'm sorry, I get a question. Hi, I'm Carlos from Bristol. Definitely wanted to make some truffles for Valentine's, and also some bonbons. And I was actually wondering whether you treat the chocolate in the same way for handling bonbons, or is that a different way?
Were you able to hear the question?
No.
So do you treat the chocolate the same way for bonbons and for the truffles? If you were to make
the same way you handle the chocolate
bonbons
as
is
you're
just
doing
a general
now.
term.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, truffles. Other confections. I call them confections, not bonbons. Bonbons is too general a term. Like I do my coconut contentment. I have peanut butter balls. I do. Yes, you want to make sure your chocolate doesn't get too hot, because then you'll have trouble with it.
So you can treat it in the same way as you are here, bringing the milk to 100 degrees. And
yes.
Excellent. Thank you for answering that. All right, so it's sat for a minute, and now we're going to put it back in the microwave. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. So what kind of bonbons will you be making?
Well, I've been practicing really, because for me it's been really, I'm practicing bonbons because for me doing the shells, and working on the molds is really tricky. And it's been like dark chocolate and stuff with coffee ganache.
Yum.
Yeah. So yeah, for me the trouble is, as Virginia said, it's not Virginia, sorry.
It's Jeannie.
Jeannie.
G-E-N-I-E. Yep.
Yeah. As Jeannie said, like I had trouble the first time when I put the chocolate very hot, and a lot of trouble with that. But yeah, I was just curious, and that's why actually I'm here to see, your experience of how handling the chocolate. And well, yeah. So let's see.
Good. Hopefully this helps.
Excuse me?
I said, well, good. Hopefully this helps.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
And while she's continuing to heat that up, I'll apologize for shaky hands. So this is Megan again. I'll be behind the camera. So if my hands are shaky, or if you can't hear me, I do have my mask on when I move around with the camera. So that might be why why it might be difficult to hear me, or if my hands are shaky, I apologize. All right, so we're back with the chocolate. Let's go see how it looks.
See how shiny it is. Here we go. So I'm just mixing it. I should have read the recipe to you first. I'm sorry. But what you do, they say, I'm going to be adding some butter, but you want to melt the chocolate first and put the butter in at the very end, because if the butter melts too much, it gives it a different consistency and mouthfeel. So what you're interested in is the mouthfeel. And since I'm using good chocolate, that's one thing you want to use is good chocolate, so it melts at your body temperature. Like if you use chocolate that has vegetable oil in it, or I also use Wilbur chocolate.
Okay.
And Peters.
Okay.
It'll melt above your body temperature and it'll have a waxy feel to it.
Okay.
So one with made with cocoa butter melts at your body temperature, and
so are these chocolates that you have to buy wholesale? Can you buy them locally, or?
No, I buy, there's 50 pounds in a box.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So if somebody wanted to buy some just to make it home, what would you recommend buying?
Well, they can buy it from me. I will sell it, yeah.
Okay.
Or you can just look at the ingredients list and make sure there's no palm kernel oil, but it just has cocoa butter on it. No oils, no vegetable oils. So see, it's nice and smooth now. And they recommend when you use a metal pan on the stove, if you're melting it, to use a wooden spoon. And it's the same reason I'm using plastic. To use a wooden spoon or plastic, like in the microwave, not a metal spoon, because that would take the heat away from the chocolate. And then it could cool down too fast. So now we're going to add, sorry, I got all my glasses on. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and it's very important that you use unsalted butter.
So what will happen if you use salted?
If you use salted butter, sometimes the producers, they put salt in and it covers the taste of the butter. So you can add salt to your truffles yourself, but it's just better to get the unsalted butter, and it's a better flavor.
Better control.
Oops. So now you can add the flavorings that this recipe suggests. You can use instant espresso powder, so that's optional, or granules, grated orange peel or zest, or 2 to 3 tables of Grand Marnier, Chamorro, or Bailey's Irish cream. But I'm using hazelnut, and I used amaretto because I already made a batch up, because you have to, after I put this together, you put it in the freezer and let it sit for a minimum of 20 minutes or until firm. Now, if you use the extra dark chocolate, sometimes if it's really too hard, that means you need to add a little cream, more cream. But like for dark or milk, you need to add, you can add more chocolate if it's too soft. So it's a balance depending on what chocolate you use. And we'll put 3 tablespoons in, because this is dark chocolate. This does have some dairy in it. Well, maybe not. Maybe just 2. That's all I have. Okay.
So to recap, we have the 16 ounces of chocolate, the 8 ounces of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of butter, and then you just added, what was it?
2 tablespoons of a hazelnut liqueur.
2. So that piece was optional, and other flavors could be added instead.
So now I'm just going to continue to mix it until the butter is mixed in.
So did you let your butter come to room temperature, or was that?
Yeah, it's easier to have your butter at room temperature. Okay. And also the cream, too. So just smashing up the butter. Because you don't want the butter melted. You just want it softened and mixed well in.
So you're just looking to be sure there aren't any chunks of butter.
Yeah, or yeah, make sure all the chocolate is mixed up too. It's nice and smooth. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put plastic over it, and I'm going to put it in the cooler. And if you put it in like in the refrigerator, it would take longer to firm up. If you put it in the freezer, it takes about 20 minutes.
So we'll work on getting this recipe sent out for those of you who did pick up your sampler boxes. You get the recipe along with it, and then you get this sampler box. So that's what you all will find along with the sampler if you purchase that for $5. Otherwise, we will get this recipe and can send it out following our appointment today.
What are her shop hours?
Jeannie, what are your shop hours?
Okay, I don't have regular hours. Like Monday through Thursday, I might be here 1 to 5, or what you do is you call first to make sure I'm here or make an appointment. But Fridays, I'm here from 12 noon to 5, and on Saturdays from 10 to 2. So you can always email or call me and make an appointment. Like I said, I've cut back on my hours. But during just before holidays, I'm here more often, so.
So we jumped ahead in time, and
yes,
it's been 20 minutes now. So here comes the, okay, so that's much harder.
Yes.
Wow. So you'll get a workout from this quickly then.
Uh-huh. And then now I need to make sure I put gloves on. And then what you need to do is
clean the workstation, provide some space for a baking sheet.
Yeah, you need a baking sheet with parchment on it.
Okay.
And then you need you mix for your coating. I mixed a quarter cup of powdered sugar, confectionery sugar, and a quarter cup of cocoa powder. Now, what you can do, you can vary it. You can use coconut. You can use chopped nuts, or chopped toffee, whatever you want to do as a coating on your truffles. You can do those chocolate sprinkles too.
So is that in this recipe, or was this your addition?
No, this is in the recipe.
Okay.
And you can put it in a shallow bowl or shallow plate.
So this is, what size baking sheet is this?
This is a half-size baking sheet.
Half-size.
Wait a minute.
Oh, she's got the ruler. We're going to get a precise measurement here.
Yeah, I need the ruler for a lot of stuff. That's 18. That's the length, and the width is like 12 and a half.
Okay. So an 18 by 12 baking sheet lined with parchment paper. And then you mixed in a quarter cup of powdered sugar.
Yes.
And a quarter cup of
cocoa powder.
Cocoa powder. All right.
Now here we go. I have a scoop like this, so you can make a smaller one or a larger one. Okay. You can just use a teaspoon.
So do these holes on the bottom make it easier to get the chocolate out, or?
No.
Okay.
I think it's well, it depends on which one you use.
Okay.
So, you can.
It's about a teaspoon size.
Yes.
Taking a scoop out. Oh, and that comes out easily. So you didn't
this was frozen, but it was getting too hard, so I put it in the cooler.
Okay.
So then, but the warmth of your hands will help make whatever thing to stick better.
All right, so here's our first truffle.
And if you look in the picture, you don't have to worry about it being nice.
Perfect ball. Perfect.
Yeah, because like, originally truffles were the delicacy that especially trained pigs dig for in the dirt. and that's very expensive, yeah. But anyhow, this is a French sense. I think it's a French sense of humor. They take the truffle and then they said, some stories say it was by accident. There was some chocolate that melted and they added cream to it. And they made truffles then. But I think it's the French sense of humor to roll it in cocoa powder so it looks like dirt.
All right.
And I'll show you some of my truffles that I made. Yeah, this got a little bit warm by being in the cooler, so I think coming out of the freezer it would be a little bit stiffer. But you can still work with it.
So if you wanted to make them larger, would it work to do a tablespoon, or does that make it too difficult to eat?
Well, it's
whatever your mouth can handle.
But here's a bigger one. And then when you're done with this, you need to refrigerate the truffles for about 20 minutes or until the truffles are firm. And then they can be stored in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks or frozen for up to 3 months. So you can prepare ahead. I'll do another big one, okay?
All right.
This is, one of my employees called this the truffle shuffle. Actually, that's when we hand dip them in my machines. I dip them in melted chocolate.
Yum.
And we do it by hand.
So that's the machine you've got running back there.
That's my tempering machine, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you want to, you can come around and you can show you that, yeah.
Sorry, for the start, Ginny. Sorry if I missed it. Did you say that we can keep this in the fridge like up to 3 months?
3 months, yep, in the freezer, or 2 weeks, you said in the fridge?
In the freezer, all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll come around to the back side.
So I put my chocolate in the back and it melts and it rotates. Okay. And this, to temper the chocolate, so it has that crisp. So, it's not grainy. This is called my tempering machine. This is what I do. I melt it and then I put seed in it. It goes through a temperature cycle. And then I'm able to dip the truffles in. And or the fudge. So this is like some of my fudge truffles.
Oh, okay. And this looks like a darker chocolate. She's pulling out some more of her.
And this is my
work.
Spiky butter rum truffles. I do those in smaller squares.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I went to candy school and they tasted my fudge, they said I needed to call it a truffle. But people get confused when I say fudge truffle, so I just say fudge.
Okay.
But it's a chocolate-based fudge dipped in chocolate.
This
is the dark chocolate orange.
Yum. And then you just have milk chocolate in here right now?
That's dark chocolate.
Oh, this is dark.
Yeah.
I thought it looked a little lighter. But
it looks lighter when it's melted.
And then it darkens
if you look over here, This is the milk chocolate. It's still, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that is a lot lighter.
Yes. So that's not going around.
So then will that harden or?
No, it's on a it's on a cycle. Okay. It's overnight, so it goes through melting and rotating.
Oh wow!
And then when I'm ready to go, I can press it, and it'll go through the cycle, and then I'll be ready to use it.
Okay. So that's only for the dipping, not for just the truffles like we're making, more so for.
Well, no, I make a bit. Okay, here, right here.
Back this way.
I slab my truffle mix right here.
Okay.
And then I put a bottom coat on it of chocolate. And then...
So this truffle mix is what we just made in that container?
No.
No. Different.
That is my fire and ice truffle.
Okay.
And then this is...
Oh, I see some caramel in there.
Yeah, this is caramel, yes. And see, this is when it's been bottomed. See the chocolates on the bottom? So that makes it easier to cut. I don't have my guitar cutter set up, but it's called a guitar cutter because it has guitar strings on it. And then I can cut it. I can use different frames and cut it into the small squares or the larger squares.
Okay. Yum.
And yeah, I'll show you.
You can see the supply shelf too. We've got the chocolate that she mentioned. So Wilbur was the other brand, and then Peter's chocolate.
Yes.
Those were the two.
So this is the glacé fruit that I did. I also have orange peel, and this is the cherry delights.
Wow.
Yes, so it's a cherry wrapped in fudge and dipped in chocolate. These are the Mary Marachinos. I use milk chocolate fudge. I have the Bada Bings, which is the traditional cherry delight. It's a darker cherry wrapped in dark chocolate fudge and then dipped in chocolate.
Wow.
And the cherries have no artificial colors or flavors in them or preservatives.
Delicious.
And then I have molds. I can make chocolates. So these are my barks. This has the mint in it. This is one of my most popular ones. This is Salty Crunch. It's almond, toffee, and caramel with sea salt. I do that in milk and dark. And then I have the ginger bark, where I put it just pieces of ginger in the bark. So there's a whole variety of things. I do different nuts. I can do almonds, hazelnuts, pistachios, or pecans. And I do a coffee bean bark too.
And so are all of these available on your website, or are these special requests?
Most of these are on my website.
Okay.
Yes. I'm still working on my website, so. But I have the truffles. I have the caramels on there. I'm working on the fudges. I'm working on my ruby honey buttercreams. And so the barks are, yeah. And the cherry delights are there too. And then coconut contentment, where I put real coconut in there. And then dip it in milk or dark chocolate and roll it in coconut.
Everything dipped in chocolate.
Of course.
For how long, Jeannie, have you been making chocolate?
Jeannie, did you say 18 years you've been making chocolate?
Oh, more than that.
Oh, more than that. What was 18 years?
18 years that I'll be celebrating having the chocolate spike.
Okay.
Before that, I was at the farmer's market.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I started off taking my mother was from Germany, and I took her basic recipe, truffle recipe, and played with that. And also at the farmer's market, it was called toffee. I was Harmony Works at first.
Okay.
Until I opened up the chocolate shop.
So for someone who wants to start selling, would you recommend like farmers market, like
yes,
for start?
Yeah, you can find out if you like doing it. You know, do it on a small scale, and then if you like it, well, it was actually my husband that encouraged me to open up my first shop. He was tired of the kitchen being full of pans and stuff and all the chocolate and stuff. So I started out where the coffee shop is by the Blacksburg Farmers Market. And then I moved to Christiansburg, and then I was at First and Main. And then I was making my stuff North Main and taking it to First and Main, and that just did not work out. So I was at North Main, and then over a year ago, it was about a year ago, I decided to slow down and work on a smaller scale. And I worked with Scott Sink here at the Heathwood Market to have a corner in this market. So it's a lot less stressful.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, really, really inspiring. And I didn't know this is a women's club meeting, really, and it's really, really inspiring. Yeah, I want to do something. I'm in Bristol in the UK now, and I'm just amazed. Yeah, thank you.
He's in the UK now, so
okay. Yes. Oh, there's some nice chocolate shops in
Bristol.
UK.
Yeah,
and then in the 90s, we lived in Paris. My husband was working there, and so I got to see the French shops, the way they did it, and I love this one place where you went and there was like a door, and you knock on the door and they open up the window and they would sell you boxes of truffles. You know, just whatever they made that day you would get. And so we traveled to Belgium, we traveled to Switzerland, we traveled to Germany. So I, checked out all the chocolates.
Very nice. Do you want me to come back around that way?
All right.
We'll make our way back around. I'll try not to make you all nauseous.
Oh yeah, this is my cooker here. Can't really see it, but yeah, I can see it from the other side.
So what are you cooking here?
I can cook my fudge in here.
Okay.
I can cook my toffee. I can cook my brittle in here. So this is where I make large batches.
Wow.
And the caramels too. Very important caramels, because I don't have to stir. Take a look in there. Can you see it? Yeah. I can move it forward. Wait a minute. Never mind. But anyhow, this makes life a whole lot easier. Because if anybody's made caramels and you stir it by hand, or even fudge, it's time consuming.
Your arm felt it for a while.
Yeah. We use yeah.
I'm telling you to look at the dance of this show, but what you hear is nothing. Oh, it's uncanny.
She's digging out some goodies.
They're my tools for dipping. Because we hand dip everything, but it is easier to use some tools. So.
Very neat.
And my strawberries, I am selling them at $20 a pound. And you can choose between the milk, the dark, or the ruby chocolate, or extra dark. And if you place an order before February 1st, you save 10%. And like the small strawberries, you get about 20 per pound. Medium, you get about 16 per pound. Large, you get about 12 per pound, or extra large, 6 per pound. Or you can just say you want a pound and mixed. I recently did a platter for someone. It was just mixed strawberries. I did 2 pounds of strawberries for them.
Yum. So that's what you'll be working on in these next few weeks then, leading up to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, I'll be making my truffles. The truffle flavors I'm working on is Peace Rose, with a milk chocolate truffle, and it has rose petals in it and orange blossom water. And then I do a butter dream, and I get that milk and dark. And it is has like a butterscotch flavor.
Yum.
And then I'll be doing a pomegranate one too. And my fudge, I'll be doing Dark Desire. This year it will be pomegranate and cherries and dark chocolate. And then the Earthly Delight will be milk chocolate and cherries.
Delicious. So then that means for these truffles over here, these have been ready to eat, right?
Yes, you can sample.
So these are ready. Oh, well, I'll go ahead and I won't put
It's
you
going
all
to be
through
soft.
the...
If you put it in the refrigerator, it would be better.
It's delightful. I encourage everybody to make some. Delicious. And then if they wanted to dip them, do you need to chill this any longer if you're going to dip it in chocolate? Or
yes.
Okay.
What you would do is I probably would roll them and then chill them, and then I would dip them.
Okay.
Or what I would do is I would make a firmer chocolate, a ganache. So ganache can be just cream and chocolate, or you can add the butter to it. They're all the ganaches, and that's what you make the truffles with. But what I do, because I slab it, and I have my secret ingredients where I can make it firmer, and then it's going to soften after a while. After you dip it in the chocolate, it will be soft inside.
Okay.
I have a background in physics and chemistry, so this is applied chemistry and physics.
All right. And then if you want to do the sprinkles or other toppings like that, you want it to be on the softer side?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Well, should we open the floor for questions, or is there anything else that you want to share? Jeannie, anything else you want to share? Or? No, you're fine. It's hard to hear behind a mask.
Let's see. I'll give you some tips here from this book. So it says, since all chocolates vary, some ganache mixes may set up more firmly than others. So you don't know until you do it. But if they're too firm, you add less chocolate or more cream. If they're too soft, you add more chocolate or less cream. So there's two ways of doing it. So, let's see what else. Oh, and it says for every ounce of liqueur you add 2 tablespoons that you add to a dark chocolate recipe, you should add 1 ounce of chocolate. And then 2 extra ounces of chocolate if you're doing milk or white chocolate, because they're softer. So the dark chocolate has less sugar in it and less dairy. And I do use 1 chocolate that my extra dark has no added dairy. So then, like the milk or the ruby chocolate, they have more dairy added and more sugar too. But anyhow, so that's why there's a difference in the proportions of chocolate.
Well, then let's go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Is there anything that anyone wanted to ask? You will need to press the mute button to unmute yourself, but we've got Jeannie here. I will flip around the camera so that you guys can, so that she can see everybody.
Okay, I see.
Does anybody have any questions? I know we've been asking some along the way.
I wondered what you do with the ruby chocolate.
She asked what you do with your ruby chocolate.
Just a minute.
Looks like she's going to show us.
So you can mold it. So here,
Oh, wow.
I have different molds. So this is the turkey. And then I have the plain where I can just sell as plain squares. Or this one, I add pistachios to it as the squares for the barks. But what I'm doing, what I'm working on now for Valentine's Day, I am going to be making my ruby honey buttercreams. So I'm using the honey from my bees. I'm using the ruby chocolate. And there'll be 3 different flavors: vanilla bean, let's see, acacia berry, and habanero one. So if you go to their website, they have a ton of recipes.
Somewhere on that bag.
Yeah, I know. But you can see a whole lot of stuff there. Okay, so it just calabo.com/ruby. So this is Calabo.
Get you the information.
Yes.
Any
And
other
they do all
questions?
sorts of stuff with the ruby. So you can have fun if you want to work with that.
Well, to close, why don't we go look at the display? We can walk around if you've got some things there. We can walk back around to the front and see the wonderful chocolates. She showed us a few of them. So
these are my cocoa bombs I made with truffles. This is a big bar of chocolate. And this is different combinations of truffles. Okay. That's the fire and ice. There, I have my caramel here, and I do the bourbon smoked sea salt on there, or plain. I have the plain milk mocha truffles, and you can look at it shows
everything.
Yes,
very colorful.
So here we have the traditional Cherry Delights. And then up here, I put Reese's Pieces in here. And another popular thing is my nonpareils. Yeah. My husband wanted me to make them, and I didn't make them. And so he made them, years ago, and they're one of my most popular items now. So I do them in milk or dark.
So you can thank your husband for that.
Yes. So he gets some occasionally. And then here you can see better with the Reese's Pieces.
Dark or milk?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I sent the link in the chat. We've got the address in there as well. So we're at 820 Heather Drive, right before you get into Fox Ridge in Blacksburg. Again, you can find Jeannie at chocolatespike.com.
Yes.
On there, on her website, she's got places you can order. You can call her to do a special order.
Or you can email me.
Or email.
chocolatespike@gmail.com.
Excellent. And then how do you get that 10% coupon if you pre-order before February?
Well, I have some here.
Okay.
But if you pre-order before February, I'll make a note and make sure, even if you prepay, you'll get something extra there.
Okay.
If you do it on the website.
Excellent. For February. So everyone stop by. We're so thankful that you shared your passion with us today and some of the many talents. I know my sample was delicious, so I hope that everybody can make some of their own and then come by and try yours as well. So we'll be sure to get your contact information out to everyone as well as the recipe. If we can get that, then we'll be able to share it with the group.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.